Hi everyone, so this video is going to be a review of the Parblo Coast 13 graphics tablet. It's a graphic monitor tablet, so that means it's a display tablet, it has a screen, and I'm also going to be doing a digital speed paint, so if you're interested in that too, you'll be able to see it in this video. And Parblo reached out to me to do a review of their tablet. Thank you so much for letting me test this out. I thought it would be really cool to try this out because I've never heard of the brand before and I wanted to see how the tablet held up. So I'm just going to start off with the specifications. So it's a HD tablet. It's 1920 by 1080. The pen is wireless and battery free. It has 2048 levels of pressure sensitivity. The actual tablet itself is 13.3 inches and the active area is 11.6 by 6.5 inches. The viewing angle, the horizontal is 178 degrees, vertical 178 degrees. The digitizer resolution is 5080 LPI. The report rate is 200 RPS. And the input, the way you plug it into your computer, is HDMI and USB. And the screen is it's matte, so it has kind of like a texture to it. It's not a screen protector, it's the actual glass itself, which I really enjoyed drawing on. And they also have 8 express keys in one of those rocker rings, and you can completely customize those. So my initial impression of this tablet was that it actually felt pretty natural for me to use because I'm used to using a Cintiq. I have a Cintiq companion, and as most of you probably know, like one of the leading brands out there is Wacom. Their most similar tablet to this Parblo one is their 13 HD one, and that one is 900, it's basically $1,000 US dollars or 1,200 Canadian dollars, but this Parblo Coast 13 is 449 US dollars or 569 Canadian dollars, so it's basically half of the price of a Cintiq, which I think is a excellent price point, especially for it felt really comfortable for me to use. I was able to do a whole painting with it fairly comfortably, but there are some things I want to say that kind of bothered me, and there's some things I want to say that I really liked about the tablet. So the first thing that I noticed, of course, is that it doesn't come with a stand. And I know you can buy tablet stands online, I just didn't want to go out and do that. So what I did is I put it on a binder, and that kind of propped it up, and then I used pieces of a kneadable eraser to keep it from slipping off the binder. I like to draw on things propped up because that way you can see the proportions properly. If it's flat on the table, things are going to be a little bit warped when you draw on them, so you want it to be kind of parallel to your head, to your face. And another thing that obviously would really bother me because I'm left-handed, this tablet can't be in the left-handed mode, which basically means I can't use the express keys while I work, otherwise my arms will be crossed over each other the whole time, so I just used a keyboard. But I did ask Parblo about this, and they said that has to do with the driver, and they're going to work on it in the future, so if you're left-handed, I would definitely consider the fact that it'll be really uncomfortable to use the express keys at the moment because you can't flip the tablet around. Also, I had problems installing the driver because my computer made the monitor scaled up to 150% so that the pen and the actual cursor were like 5 inches away from each other. So I figured that out, I scaled it back down to 100%, and then I could calibrate it properly, and from that point on it ended up working fairly nice for me. But one thing that did happen with the driver, it seemed a little bit glitchy because every time I would change a setting, every time I would open up the tablet settings, the pen pressure would stop working, so I had to restart my computer, then it would work again. So I just didn't open up the driver so I could get my painting done because it's my computer's old and slow and it takes a long time for it to reboot. So that could just be because of my computer, but every time I opened the driver, it did make the pressure stop working, which was kind of strange. When I say driver, I mean the tablet settings. Every time I opened that, the pen pressure would stop working. And I thought that was a little bit weird, but it could be my computer. That's just my personal experience. I also found the button on the pen a little bit uncomfortable because my hand was cramping so much because the button is kind of flush with the pen and it doesn't stick out. So I use the button on the pen all the time when I draw. I use it as my color picker. So I'm constantly selecting colors and painting with them as I go. So I had to keep one finger pressing into that button. It was kind of like an uncomfortable grip and it made my hand cramp up really quickly. But I do hold, like everyone holds pens differently, but for me, I found that uncomfortable. And another little glitch I had was when I wanted to select colors, sometimes it wouldn't do it right away. I had to I think it's because I'm used to maybe I lifted the pen too far off the screen, so then it wasn't registering it anymore. I think it might be slightly different from the Cintiq I have, where it doesn't detect it as far away as the Cintiq does, or something. I think there was something I was doing that was making it not select the color right away. It just felt a little bit delayed sometimes when I was using the button on the pen. I'm not sure why, but that's just my experience. And also around the express keys, it's like a little plastic panel around the express keys. When I got it, it was kind of popped out and it made a really loud like squeaking noise, and I tried to like push it back in, but it still kind of stuck out a little bit. That's just another thing I noticed. I just want to be really honest here. But there are a lot of pros, because the Wacom version of this tablet, like I said, is double the price of this, so you definitely have to take there has to be some compromises for it to be so cheap, so that's probably why I had the issues that I did have. But it is really nice to have a battery-free pen. That was like a huge plus for me. It's just so convenient, and the texture of the glass was amazing to draw on. I love that texture. The actual drawing itself felt really nice. There wasn't any lag. I could get the lines thin and thick, and I could blend colors well, and it just, of course, when you switch tablets, it takes a little while to get used to how it behaves, but after a while I got into a rhythm, and it worked really well for me. And this could definitely be a backup tablet for me if I ever have to send in my tablet for repairs, or if I ever have to travel. I would probably take this tablet with me, because it's the most similar thing I have to my Cintiq, because it's the only other display tablet, and it worked really well for me once I got everything all set up. And I haven't had this tablet that long. I don't know how it holds up in the long run, but my first impressions was that it was pretty comfortable and easy to use. So from my initial impression is that it's really good for the price. And I made a mistake when I was recording this video. The tablet is 1920 by 1080, so I was recording at that resolution. Little did I know my computer can't handle that, and it kept freezing the recording. So if it looks a little bit laggy, that's why. And I had to cut out a whole bunch of the screen recording, which was my fault, has nothing to do with the tablet, because it's a good thing that it's a high resolution. So I had to cut out a bunch of the screen recording, so I'm sorry if most of it was filming the tablet screen itself, which is not the best thing to look at, because it's not really nice to see a screen being filmed by a camera. It's so much better to have a screen capture, so I'm sorry that didn't work out for me. That was completely my fault. So that's my honest review about the Parblo Coast 13. It's definitely a lot more affordable compared to Cintiq's. I just haven't used it for long, so I don't know how the reliability is. I don't know how it holds up in the long run. But like I said, initially it seemed like a pretty decent tablet. Maybe for someone who's a beginner and you're looking to just get into display tablets. Parblo also has smaller models if you want to look into that too. I'll put links to all the specifications in the description and where you can buy it. All their information will be there. So I hope you found this interesting. If you have any questions, let me know. I will try to answer them. And if you enjoyed this, please like the video and subscribe if you want to see more stuff from me, and I'll see you in my next one.